Hi, and thanks for joining me today. Today we're going to be talking about the second trimester and what you can expect your students to need during this time. Expectant mothers will start to feel like they're pregnant around the second trimester. The uterus begins to grow outside of the pelvis. It starts to come into the abdominal cavity and it starts to push other organs away. By the second trimester, most of the first trimester symptoms have dissipated. Typically, women who experience nausea in the first trimester find that it dissipates and decreases in the second trimester. Oftentimes, individuals who have felt tenderness or soreness in their breast have a reduction in this symptom once they get to the second trimester. The fullness in the breast remains, but the sensitivity to touch decreases. During the second trimester, women might find that their digestion is sluggish, or that they need to eat and drink a little bit more to feel satiated. During the second trimester, the blood volume starts to double, and by the end of the pregnancy, the individual's blood volume doubles. The expectant mother might also feel discomfort in the hips or pelvis as their uterus grows. This is the time when we start to introduce modifications for our yoga practice. Bringing blocks in to our yoga practice or even pillows and bolsters can help to make the practice more accessible. Essentially, women will begin to lose space and things like twisting will become more challenging. There are a lot of rumors out in the yoga community about practicing yoga while you're pregnant. Many of these are myths and they're not true. For example, a woman who has been practicing Chaturanga Dandasana with a float back is welcome to continue to do that as long as she is truly floating back and it's something she's been doing in her practice all along. It is perfectly safe to continue to twist during pregnancy. I have heard myths and rumors that twisting can cause pregnancies to abort, and that is not true. That's just a misunderstanding. Typically, women in their second and third trimester do stop twisting or they modify their twist because they run out of space, not because it's going to hurt the fetus. The fetus is so protected and cushioned in its uterine home that it is safe and at ease. During the second trimester, some women feel more sensations in their SI joint, their sacroiliac joint, or their low back. Sometimes the shoulders and the upper back feel fatigued. These are all normal symptoms of pregnancy. Many of these symptoms of pregnancy come about because of a hormone called relaxin. Relaxin is a hormone produced from the very moment that you become pregnant until even after you give birth, and it's designed to help the joints loosen so that you can naturally birth the baby through the vaginal canal. Without this hormone, it would be very difficult to get the baby to move through the vaginal canal and out the pelvic occiput. In order for this process to go smoothly, the body creates relaxin, and this hormone helps the ligaments and joints to relax. Now, this is where we need to take note. Relaxin causes the joints to become a little more loose, and that is why during the second and third trimester, it is extremely important that yoga practitioners who are expecting practice strength over flexibility. Practicing with flexibility in mind can actually cause injury when we're pregnant. This is because relaxin impacts the ligaments so much that if we sink into that, we can cause micro tears. Micro tears during pregnancy can lead to injury and long-term effects that we don't typically want to experience. Remember, after we give birth, we're going to have to take care of this child. We're going to have to lift gear, and we're going to have to schlep the child in and out of vehicles and car seats and high chairs and all the things. During the second and third trimester, we can use our yoga practice to build strength. Strength will yield stability. And when we are postpartum, we can start to work on integrating more flexibility into the practice if we need it. And sometimes it's not necessary. When we work with strength in our yoga practice, we are helping to contain the energy and to provide scaffolding for the body. This will give the individual the strength that they need to carry to term and to get through labor. There are some yoga poses that are particularly beneficial for pregnant individuals. We'll go over those later. Ultimately, during the second trimester, many women feel energized, sensual, free, and creative. Long gone are the symptoms of the first trimester, and the second trimester is sometimes a blissful experience. But it's not that way for everyone. It's important to remember when you are communicating with your students that everyone's experience is a little different. If you had a wonderful experience when you were pregnant, or if you know people who did, don't assume that your students are having that same experience. Let them have the experience that they are currently having. It's all an effort to their awakening.